Hey, you bunch of monsters! Have you all run away, or what? Today we are talking about Heracles and the 12 labors. The reason Heracles carried out these 12 labors also coincides with the reason many men throw themselves into the world and accomplish great feats for women. Specifically, 2 women. The first is Hera. Hera, out of jealousy, cursed Heracles, the illegitimate son of Zeus, causing him to descend into madness. Instead of being able to control his rage, Heracles picked up a knife and massacred the second woman, his own wife, along with all the children in the house. When Heracles awoke from his madness, everything was already done. To atone for this terrible sin, Heracles was told by the god Apollo that he must sign a labor contract with his cousin Eurystheus. The contract between Heracles and Eurystheus was extremely simple. The term was 10 years. Abide by the 5 rules of no. No salary, no insurance, no lunch break, no overtime pay, and no shame means no money. The only things guaranteed were hardship and tears. But generally speaking, if the 12 labors of Heracles happened today, there is a high chance he would be sentenced to prison from 10 to 15 years for hunting rare animals, and life imprisonment for murder and robbery of property. Basically, to compensate for the crime of killing his entire family, Heracles had to go kill wild animals, hunt rare creatures 5 times, steal a belt, and deceive an old man to obtain a golden apple. In the literal sense, Heracles had to travel to the ends of the earth, even descending into hell itself to carry out these challenges. The first mission of Heracles was to kill a cat, specifically the Nemean lion. This was a battle between the biological sons of the 2 strongest fathers on the server, because this lion was the offspring of the giant Typhon. Typhon was the only one in Greek mythology who could punch Zeus in the mouth, even making him lose his tendons and drop points. What was special about this lion was that it was 10 times larger than any lion Heracles had killed before, and its hide could not be pierced by any spear or sword. Many heroes had lost their lives in the process of trying to defeat this monster. Heracles spent many days researching to find a way to eliminate the beast. After he had finished his research, he decided to club it and knock it out. When the battle was about to begin, blood from previous hunts still lingered on the mouth of the lion. Heracles shot a series of arrows, but all the arrows bounced back. It turned out the lion was too tough. He rushed forward and struck its head with one powerful blow, making the lion stagger. But it was not the type to just take a beating. It counterattacked to show Heracles what it meant to be the king of the jungle. Then it received another blow, 2 blows, 3 blows, and had to stagger and flee into its cave. Heracles rushed after it in relentless pursuit. He jumped forward and strangled the monster with his bare hands, making it suffocate and pass out. Heracles intended to take a knife and skin it, then bring it home, but no blade could pierce the hide of the monster. Fortunately, Athena gave him an idea, so Heracles came up with the solution of using the very claws of the lion to skin it and create an outfit for going into the forest. Our hero looked pretty fierce in it, right? So the next mission is to kill a snake. The next mission of Heracles was to travel to Lerna, the place where the mortal world intersects with the underworld, and exterminate the serpent Hydra. This creature was also a child of the giant Typhon, living in the swamp among the Rocky Mountains, burrowing deep into a cave. This monster was so terrible that one breath could blow away everything, including the incompetence of my old boss. Its breath could leave anyone brain dead. Normally, to kill a snake, you have to cut off its head. But with Hydra, every time you cut off one head, 3 more grow back. Hydra is a symbol of rebirth and karma. Every time you create some karma, meaning cutting off one head, there will be at least 3 karmic consequences, meaning 3 heads grow back. To destroy the serpent, Heracles had to seek the help of his nephew Iolaus. First, he used flaming arrows to lure the monster out of its cave. Oh, I mean these flaming arrows. The monster was provoked and rushed out to fight, overwhelming our hero. Heracles used his sword to slice off the head of the serpent, but with each head cut off, 3 other heads grew back. Oh no, so this will not work. Seeing this beast regenerate like this forever is not sustainable. Heracles told Iolaus to light torches, and with each head he cut off, to press the torch against the wound to burn it, and so no more heads could grow back. Hera, watching from above, observed that everything was too easy for Heracles, so she increased the difficulty by sending down a crab to help Hydra. However, the crab had just shown its face when Heracles struck it and made it disappear. Hera later, because she felt sorry for the crab, placed it up in the sky as a constellation, which is the constellation Cancer, representing those born in July. The serpent was then beheaded by Heracles and Iolaus down to the last head. Heracles quickly dipped his arrows in the poisonous blood of Hydra to increase the lethal damage for his shots, then buried the monster in the ground. Mission 2 complete. King Eurystheus by this point thought that killing monsters was too easy for Heracles, so this time he had to capture something alive. Specifically, capture alive a wild boar in Erymanthos. This boar also had a thick, tough hide that no sword or blade could pierce, and it destroyed countless crops of the villagers. On the way to catch the boar, Heracles encountered the tribe of centaurs. At first, the two sides greeted each other warmly, but later, due to excessive drinking and various trivial conflicts, Heracles used poisoned arrows to massacre the entire centaur tribe. Not only that, he also accidentally killed the teacher of the heroes, Chiron. To honor Chiron, Zeus placed him up as a constellation, and it is the constellation Sagittarius. Killing people without cause was also a hobby of Heracles. Later, when he was freed, Heracles also once slapped his nephew to death just because he accidentally spilled hot water on his foot. Back to the boar. Heracles went to where it lived and roared once, making the creature terrified and run for its life. And so Heracles chased after the animal while shouting. The chase took place from spring all the way to winter. Basically, Heracles spent an entire year chasing a pig while shouting like an idiot. By midwinter, because the snow fell so thick, the boar got stuck in the snow, and so Heracles only needed to tie it up and bring it back to present to Eurystheus. Mission complete. There, he received a new mission to capture alive another animal, but this time it was a giant deer with golden antlers. This deer had for years also destroyed the crops of the people, and it was the beloved child of the goddess Artemis, so no one dared to touch it. This mission was even harder than the previous one, because if you harmed the deer, it would be no different from offending the goddess. So Heracles had just spent a year of his life chasing a pig, and now had to spend another year catching a deer. He chased it all the way to the far north and still could not catch it. The young man became so frustrated, he drew his bow and shot once, hitting the hind leg, making the deer collapse. And of course, he had to explain to Artemis for this action. Artemis not only forgave Heracles, but also quickly helped him return to carry out the next challenge. Shooting birds. There was a flock of monstrous birds at Lake Stymphalos, with a size as large as eagles, beaks made of bronze, talons sharp as knives, specialized in eating human flesh and livestock. Especially they had the ultimate skill of shooting their feathers, causing extremely great damage. To accomplish this feat, Heracles had to seek the help of the gods, namely Athena. When Athena heard Heracles call for help, she passed the task to Hephaestus. And the blacksmith god forged for Heracles 2 bronze cymbals that could create extremely annoying sounds. Heracles used the 2 cymbals to cause chaos among the evil birds, making them panic and fly out of their nests. Looking down, they saw Heracles below, so they swarmed back and simultaneously shot their feathers at Heracles. Heracles again used the 2 cymbals as shields to avoid all damage, then waited for the feather storm to pass. Heracles raised his bow and shot them down one by one, and so the 5th feat was complete. In the 6th feat, Eurystheus saw that Heracles had slaughtered and captured enough creatures, so this time he changed things up a bit and made Heracles go clean manure. And not ordinary manure, but the manure of the cattle of the sun god, or rather, the son of the sun god. The story is that King Augeas, the son of the god Helios, had a herd of livestock totaling 3,000 animals. It is no exaggeration to say that Augeas is the person who owns the most livestock in the world, second only to TikTok. Every day these creatures consume more grass than Snoop Dogg on a fun day. But eating a lot means pooping a lot. King Augeas was busy eating, sleeping, and dealing with his bodily functions. So his livestock pen became the dirtiest and most foul-smelling place in the world. The manure piled up into mountains. The people around could barely survive. For a very long time, no one dared to start cleaning it, because as soon as they scooped one shovel, the livestock had already excreted a whole mountain of waste. Heracles observed the terrain around the king's livestock pen and confidently told Augeas that he could clean the pile of manure within one day. Bro, this is cow manure, not the hope of the Qatar national team. How can you sweep it clean in one day? If I can do it, then what? Then I will give you 1/10 of my livestock herd. Remember that promise of yours. So the next morning, Heracles dug the earth to redirect the flow of 2 nearby rivers, causing water to rush through the livestock pen, sweeping away all the waste accumulated over the years. Actually, it was not perfectly clean, but it was fairly acceptable. But a bit strange, right? Sweeping away the manure should also sweep away the cows, but overall, Heracles still cleaned the manure in an extremely controversial way. And discussing poop is like discussing moldy porridge, bro. Like this, and you say it is clean? I want it to be like the restroom at the Metropolitan Museum. This pile looks like the restroom at my middle school. Then you go clean it properly. Did I specify what the key performance indicator was? King Augeas disagreed with Heracles and absolutely refused to pay the reward as agreed. This later caused him to be avenged and killed by Heracles with a poisoned arrow. From this story, we later have the idiom the Augean stables, to refer to situations that have been stagnant and accumulated for a long time without being resolved. The remaining feats will be covered in the next part. Do not forget to subscribe to my channel so you do not miss any videos. Goodbye, and see you again.